Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about the shocking truth about neurodegenerative diseases and hope for a cure. Alright, so we are going to be talking about neurodegenerative diseases, the causes, and why scientists believe there is real hope for cures. Alright, what are neurodegenerative diseases? Neurodegenerative diseases are the diseases that affect the brain and the spinal cord. They actually occur when the nerve cell in the brain and the spinal cord stop working and they eventually die. Alright, as this damage spreads, people tend to experience problems in memory, thinking, movement, speech, and in behavior. And the problem keep on getting worse over time. In a nutshell, this problem causes the brain not to perform to its best or to prevent the brain from totally carrying out its function. What are the common neurodegenerative diseases that we have? We have some common ones. We have several neurodegenerative diseases, but the common ones are Alzheimer disease, Parkinson disease, Huntington's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is also known as ALS, and among the common one is also the frontotemporal dementia. Alright, millions of people are affected worldwide, and the number keep increasing as the year move in. So year in, year out, the number of people suffering from neurodegenerative diseases keep increasing. Alright, what are the symptoms of neurodegenerative diseases? Alright, while the symptoms to each of these common neurodegenerative diseases vary, they tend to share a unifying sign, general sign. We're going to be talking about the general signs in respect to every of the common neurodegenerative. Alright, the first sign is memory loss and confusion. So a lot of people suffering from neurodegenerative diseases tend to have a kind of memory loss and confusion. They tend not to remember things easily. The second symptoms is difficulty in movement and coordination. Several people suffering from these diseases tend to have difficulty in movement and coordination. Some cannot walk properly, some cannot hold objects properly. A lot of movement difficulties are being seen as a result of neurodegenerative diseases. Another problem is speech and language problem. So people suffering from this disease tend to have speech problem or language problem. Another symptoms is mood or behavioral change. People suffering from this disease tend to have mood or behavioral change. So it is common when we see a lot of people having a mood change, behavioral change, then we can say definitely they are suffering from this kind of disease. We have several other symptoms that we're not going to be talking about, but one thing that is very common is all these symptoms get worsened over time. They get to progress to the worst part. So the symptoms worsen over time because the disease, the mechanism of the disease is that they disrupt the functional cells in the body, particularly in the brain, and makes them get worse over time. I think one of the most important things is to talk about the causes of these diseases so that we could have people move away from those causes that can be avoided in order to prevent the progression of the diseases. So we have several causes of the diseases. We have the age and the like. So we are going to be picking them one after the other now, and we're going to be talking about them. Some we're going to be talking about them extensively because we know they can easily be avoided. For instance, we have the genetics cause and the environmental cause. The genetics is quite difficult to avoid, but the environmental one, I think it is easy. We can easily do away from those ones. So we're going to be picking them one after the other. Alright, the first cause is aging. As the brain ages, there's tendency for the brain not to, repair DNA, or for there to be less production of energy, or also for it to be difficult to remove toxic materials. So as the brain ages, the nerve cell finds it difficult to repair to repair damaged DNA, or to produce energy, or to even remove toxic materials from the brain. And this result in neurodegenerative disease. So aging is one of the most common cause of neurodegenerative diseases, and we can see from statistics, from literature, that over 50 million people in the world are suffering from this disease, and they are basically people above 60 years of age are actually suffering from these diseases more. Another cause is genetic mutation. People tend to inherit unhealthy genes, and this can as well cause the increase in progression of these diseases. So genetic mutation is another cause of neurodegenerative. Another cause of neurodegenerative diseases is oxidative stress and inflammation. This is one of the major causes, and I believe, oxidative stress and inflammation are the basis through which several other factors affect or cause neurodegenerative diseases. Excessive radical or chronic inflammation damage neuronal cells, affect the brain. As a result, it can lead to neurodegenerative disease. So this is one of the major causes of neurodegenerative diseases. And the last cause we're going to be talking about is environmental and lifestyle factors. It is important to know that our environment and the kind of lifestyle we live really matters than we think. Environmental toxins like heavy metals, pesticides, and pollution, air pollution specifically, can result into, those materials from the environment can interact with the body, the brain, and as a result cause neurodegenerative disease. So they are very, very, dangerous factors, especially with pesticides and air pollution. The environment can trigger, the death. The chemicals in the environment can trigger the death of the brain cells, and as a result cause neurodegenerative disease. And for the life, this includes physical inactivity or poor diet, and as we all know, poor diet can be the main cause of several diseases in the world. So poor diet or physical inactivity can cause neurodegenerative diseases. Another lifestyle factor is smoking and excessive intake of alcohol. This can, result in neurodegenerative disease. I don't really want to go into the details today about the mechanism through which all these factors can cause neurodegenerative diseases. But one thing I want us to know is that all these factors that we have mentioned are, can all result into neurodegenerative diseases. And those ones I want us to really watch are those ones that are, can be avoidable. Like I said earlier, the genes are difficult to, change because they are being inherited, but the environmental factors can be avoided, and we can actually work on them in order to improve our health system. So how can we treat these neurodegenerative diseases, and what are the hope for future? Currently, there is no cure for neurodegenerative disease, but researchers are currently looking at natural compounds. Research is going on looking at natural bioactive compounds such as flavonoids, polyphenols, antioxidants, in order to see how these natural compounds could serve as cure or could help to reduce the progression of the disease. So this is one of the area where we have a positive where we are hoping to get positive response in the future. And like I said, it is something that is ongoing, and a lot of researchers are really working in this regard, and hopefully we can get a cure for neurodegenerative diseases. Alright, it is important to know that neurodegenerative diseases are complex, but they are not hopeless. And what do I mean by this? Fervent research and looking at fervent research, which takes time and resources. I am hopeful, and I know the world is hopeful, that one day we are going to get to a stage where we can have a cure for neurodegenerative disease. And that was why I said it is not a hopeless situation. Alright, if you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. You can also drop your questions and comments, and let us keep this conversation going. Thank you for watching.